dude, I have no idea if the recording's actually been cut. It's like the recording has been cut and the message doesn't change. I'm like, what the fuck? All right. Alright, Vlad, loaded up. Well, loaded up. Loaded in.
How should I
okay,
proceed?
So I noticed also you took Flash, which is not a terrible idea versus Riven, because it might actually save you in cases where Ghost probably wouldn't. Because I could just flash your Ghost if I need one more auto attack or something like that. Obviously I can flash your Flash if I need one more auto attack, but if I needed just a little bit more, chances are Ghost won't save you. But being top lane Ghost is generally pretty safe. So I'm going to go Boots 3. I'm going to start Q again. Especially in this case, I'm not going to go E because I'm not scared of your damage. I mean, I'm going to have to take your damage anyways.
Choose your own path.
Seconds until minions spawn.
My spirit is not lost.
Give me an example. Also, is stream black? I hear some people saying that it's black. If someone's watching and is on the client or even on Facebook or anything, can you message me and tell me? Please.
A sword mirrors its own.
Well, for Vayne, Vayne's problematic because, like, 80 carries are problematic, but you do have the gap closers.
Learn from your mistakes.
Okay, thanks. Like, honestly, the only problem with pushing and all that is the fact that, you know, you're gonna take autos. You're just gonna constantly take auto attacks, and it's difficult. It's really, really difficult. You have to outplay the person in front of you. Chances are it's going to be hard, though.
Learn from your mistakes.
So your Q wasn't back up. Unfortunate, right? Well, that's the sadness of being Vladimir. Now, you have to Q on creeps, but mind you, you don't necessarily have to. For last hitting, I get it, but it's got a super long cooldown, and not only that, is the fact that you Q on creeps, and it heals for so little, though. It's so small. Oh, I missed. So you're potting your first pot. I already potted mine. You're dead. Yeah. Okay. You see my damage? You saw it, right? What can you do about that?
How should I proceed?
Cloth helps. It's not all about the armor though. A lot of people are like, "Oh, go Cloth 5. Holy shit, he just deals 80 damage, so I got to go Cloth 5." No, it's not just about that. It's the 5 pots. And having those pots, like, don't, okay, you lose a quarter of your health. A quarter, a fifth of your health. Use a fucking pot. Just, if you have 150 HP missing, like, okay, maybe like 170 with Vlad, or 180, I don't know. Like, since you do kind of have Q, the heals for, like, not a lot early game. Okay, you can wait till like 180 HP until you use the pot, but you want to use it. That's retarded damage, right? Like, that's half your health. And that wasn't even a full combo if you can consider I should have gotten all the Qs off. Okay, that was not supposed to go that way, but NP. First world problems with Riven. I pressed Q to go the other way, but since I was already targeted on someone, it went the wrong way. So you're standing very, very close to the creeps, obviously, because I know you want to get them. But there's nothing stopping you from learning. Yeah, his auto attack is, I think, is it 480? Is it 480 or is it? Yeah, it's even lower than Swain. Oh no, it's Swain and Fiddlesticks that have 480. At least next patch, Swain's is getting buffed. But anyways, 450 is even worse. It's super low. Your Q has what, like 600 maybe? I can't remember that. We'd have to wiki it, but or just like sort of calculate it from like just by looking at it. But one thing you can do is see, like, okay, I look at the backline and see the CS and think, oh, I can go get this one now, and I go in and then get it. Okay, like imagine there's no tower there though. That's not a good example. I'd have to be like, okay, they're gonna reset here. What you can do is, I see there's a couple CS in back that are lower health, and I see that the ones in front are gonna get hit, but I can just chill back here and just wait, and just kind of move in a bit. Just wait. Oh, I can go get this one. Okay, now I'm gonna move back and just wait. Just chillax in the back. Oh, I can get this one. I'll just dash in because I can get it. Just try and get out. In the case I was Riven and losing the lane, that's what I do. However, in the case where you're Vlad, well, you can't kite too much. I mean, all you have is your Qs, and you got to try and last it with Qs. If you have to give up CS to not die in lane, you're probably best to do it.
The greater good.
And like, yeah, just keep running in a straight line at that point, because I'm gonna auto you otherwise, and that's just gonna be more painful. Oh, I didn't get. Anyways, okay. So, anyways, you get the point there. This is just dumb. No, you can DC. Anyways, you get the point. This is just ridiculous, and you see how ridiculous it is. It's just like, it's worse than the Yorick matchup, and by far. Yeah, we can try different tops. We can all leave. At this point, like, we'll just recap, but we can leave. Yeah, let's all leave. Alright, so globally, what do you think could have been done to make that less painful? We said cloth, right? Cloth is definitely good. Even Tabai, like into Tabai really early.
Just generally speaking, it's a very bad matchup for Vlad.
It is.
Riven has the early game that Vlad severely lacks.
Exactly. Also, CS under tower is really bad. His 80 is so low. It's very, very low. His base AD is just retardedly low. And he doesn't have his spells up yet to a point where he can just last hit correctly. And in most cases, his E is just going to mess up CS more than anything. If it doesn't put them to the right amounts, you're basically the problem in CSing under tower. Riven can't pressure you super hard in the levels under tower. In the earlier levels, it's really, really hard. Later, she can just walk up to you, W, and E away, and it gets really painful because the E will block the whole tower shot, and the W will like really chunk you actually. So, who else works top? You mean against Riven, or just generally speaking? Riven? Okay. We have a couple matchups. I was saying Olaf and Kennen. Udyr kind of works because trading upfront damage with Udyr is kind of painful too. And Jax can lose early. But, like, say opposed to Vlad, if Jax gets to, like, level 9 or whatever, he's actually going to start winning trades at some point. Riven's not going to be out to 100-0, and Jax is just going to stand there and auto-attack, and auto-attack, and auto-attack, and it's going to be really annoying. And the E is actually pretty good versus her passive. And on top of that, you consider that since her auto-attacks hurt so much, if you E one of her auto-attacks, you'll return a lot of damage from passive auto attacks like that.
Yeah, the Riven Jax matchup comes up to, can you bait out his counter strike? If you can get that out of the way, you can come in for the next trade free.
Yeah, you really need it. If you don't get it, it's not going to work for you, unfortunately.
Well, Riven's cooldowns are better than Jax's, especially that E. Like, Jax is always going to have his W. That's a given. It's like a 3-second cooldown.
Yeah.
But you can shield that most of the time.
Kayle versus Riven? Or are you okay. Kayle is just like, Kayle, okay, is basically Nidalee 2.0, if you will. Obviously, she doesn't have her range attack all the time. But just to give you an idea, Kayle beats Nidalee. That's how fucking annoying it is. Because straight up, Nidalee will want to auto-attack people, and it'll hurt. It'll hurt really, really bad. And there's not much you can do about it. Like, both these champions, Nidalee and Kayle, have 525 range when they're using their, either in Nidalee's case, her human form, or Kayle, it's her Righteous Fury, I think. That's her E. That gives her the extra 400 range. Those auto attacks hurt really bad. Like, really, really badly. And Riven, in the first levels, like, doesn't have too much to do about it. You gotta... Basically, Riven is all about one thing. As you saw, like, Vlad, you'd go up for a CS, and if I could get to you, I can hurt you, like, really, really bad. I get up to Yorick, I can hurt him really, really bad. Vlad's ranged, not very far range, but he is ranged. Yorick isn't, so Yorick's melee. So that means I have all that much less distance to travel to get to my opponent. Whereas with Kayle just sits back, waits for Righteous Fury, last hits with that, or hits you with it. And Nidalee just stands far and just jukes in and out of the brush and keeps auto-attacking you. And on top of that, she has her passive, Nidalee that is, and it's just retarded. It's just like... She's too quick. She's too quick to catch. But if you break the distance, that's where you win. That's where you have an advantage. Because Kayle and Nidalee don't have like innate escapes. Mind you, they both kind of do in some sort. Like in that Kayle can use the movement speed buff that also heals her, and you can level that legitimately, and it's just so... It's very frustrating to deal with, because you'll just take auto attacks at that point, And if you want to try and engage, she'll just heal up or just run away before you can even get to her, because the W movement speed will be retarded. And Italy gets 6 at some point and just cougars away. So, whatever. Those matchups are really, really hard, but they're not unwinnable. It's just the way you go about them are different. You can't be aggressive like, say, I could be in these past 2 matchups I was at level 1. These are maybe matchups you'll look to want to get E or whatnot in the earlier levels, so you can just secure the first last hits, the first few last hits, and at least the EXP, because what you want is to get QWE. So at level 3 you're pretty strong, and usually you can look to go in. Kale doesn't want to stand on you with Righteous Fury. She wants to be away from you and not taking damage, not trading. But all the same, she does hurt quite a bit. Nidalee can really get away from you quickly by using the brush, but if she doesn't, you can win those trades once again. Mind you, she has the heal. Don't forget about that. Both of them have like a certain heal that does help them, and both gives them different stats, but gives them really good stats in both cases. The attack speed really helps Nidalee, and the movement speed helps Kale get away and kite you better. So versus lanes like that like can kite you, it's just, you can't be as aggressive. If you see an opportunity to go in, go in. Like, bait them to you. They're running after you, then turn, then E, or then start queuing towards them. Stuff like that. You know, like, in these cases, it's really important to level E too. Even if you don't see you can level E, W, which is Valor, her stun. Just level, her stun is not Valor, sorry. Key burst is her stun, her Valor is her E. If you see you can't land Key burst, level Valor, and what you do is basically you Valor towards them. You start queuing, you get to them, you W them, you land your auto attacks, and your passive is still scaling. So even if you didn't level W or Q or whatever, you're still dealing a lot of damage with your auto attacks. And what you do is, at the end of your combo, usually, say versus Kale, you'd have W leveled, you would have done a little more damage, but you wouldn't have E ready, so you couldn't E out. But if she uses Reckoning on you, her Reckoning is her Q, I think. Anyways, the red thingy that slows you and deals more damage, dude, like, that's gonna hurt. Oh my god, it's gonna hurt really bad, because you're gonna be like, I don't want to trade anymore. My shit's on cooldown, and my auto attack, like, I don't have any more passive stacks. So you won't even be able to use Key Burst anymore either, because Key Burst is, like, obviously you're trying to get away from this person, and you're at such far a range that you can't even W. So, anyways. The point I'm trying to make here is that it's really, really difficult to just be like, sup, I'm going to go super aggressive because you're a ranged champion. The fact that you're versus a ranged champion just really fucks you over. It makes it really hard. But there are people that suffer much more, because the fact is, you have a gap closer. You have 2 gap closers, technically. If you use Q correctly, you have 2 gap closers. So, yeah, globally, I'd say that's a pretty good Riven talk, at least.